Liverpool were taken to the cleaners by Newcastle United on Sunday, a distant second best, as the Magpies earned a 2-1 victory at Wembley to lift the Carabao Cup and in 70 years of hurt. It closed a miserable week for the Reds, whose Champions League campaign tailspun into the murk as Paris Saint-Germain won the shootout at Anfield. Newcastle's victory has closed the door on another pathway, leaving the Premier League standing alone over the final 2 months. Carabao Cup final player ratings courtesy of SofaScore. But of course, it's not all doom and gloom. Arne Slot's side are 12 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the division and can now invest their time and energy exclusively on clinching the covetous trophy. Supporters would have snapped at the chance for such an outcome last summer after Jurgen Klopp departed and Liverpool were prematurely written off. Maybe it's the high ceiling Slot has offered a glimpse of that has left such a deflating feeling across Merseyside. Liverpool, to be sure, will be frustrated with having fallen from all 3 cup fronts, with potential departures of Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold adding insult to injury. Liverpool are going to need a revamp at the front of the ship, and Alexander Isak, scorer in the capital on Sunday, is set to be at the top of the wish list. Liverpool's summer transfer plans. Multiple sources have confirmed over the past few months that Liverpool are attentive to Isak's situation at St. James Park. Arsenal also have a vested interest, and he may yet remain in black and white, potentially buoyed by winning a trophy and potentially qualifying for the Champions League. Newcastle Alexander Isak. For upwards of a reported £150 million, Isak's arrival would blow a blow out of FSG's transfer chest, perhaps detrimentally so. Newcastle want the Sweden striker to stay for the long run and will fiercely protect him this summer. He's desirable, that's for sure. But Isak isn't the only player who could fit right in as a starting member of Slot's Liverpool team. Last summer, Anthony Gordon came close to moving back to Merseyside, but Liverpool ultimately decided against the £75M rated winger. Anthony Gordon celebrates for Newcastle, with Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, and Darwin Núñez all facing uncertain futures at Liverpool. Such interest may be revisited. However, there's actually another member of Eddie Howe's outfit who should be prioritized above his peers in the market this year. Forget Isak. Liverpool might need another Newcastle star. On Monday, Fabrizio Romano discussed several plot points regarding Liverpool's plans this summer, confirming talks have been held regarding Isak. Liverpool manager Arne Slot. However, there's another Newcastle man Slot may want to sign this summer, and he's not a forward. Since arriving in the Premier League in January 2022, Bruno Guimaraes has been a revelation in midfield for the Toon. The £40 million signing from Lyon was described as a world-class player by talent scout Isak Kulik. With such an impressive all-round game, you'd say Guimaraes would dovetail right into the Liverpool starting lineup. According to FBref, the Brazilian bears a distinct statistical likeness to Jude Bellingham, Alexis Mac Allister, and Declan Rice, an amalgamation of the three capable of excelling across the different functions of an elite midfielder. Bruno Guimaraes, Newcastle United Premier League. At Wembley, Guimaraes might not have retained the ball with the greatest crispness, but it mattered not. Newcastle were content with Liverpool holding onto the ball and doing little with it. His combative and tenacious nature showed, though, winning a whopping 9 duels, making 6 interventions, and just putting in a worthy shift for the trophy. It's this kind of presence Liverpool need in their center, offering something more crunching to pack an extra punch while still retaining every bit of technical style. Guimaraes led his team and followed PSG's blueprint, both sides steamrolling the Reds out of cup competitions. Carabao Cup Final. Guimaraes versus Mac Allister and Gravenberch. Match stats. Guimaraes. Mac Allister. Gravenberch. Minutes played. 90 foot. 67 foot. 74 foot. Touches. 40. 45. 53. Shots on target. 2-2. 0-0. 0-0. Accurate passes. 14 of 22, 64%. 28 of 33, 85%. 34 of 42, 81%. Key passes. 2. 0. 0. Dribbles. 1 of 1. 1 half, 1 of 1. Tackles plus interceptions, 6, 1. 3. Duels 1, 9 of 14, 2 out of 7, 3 out of 7. Stats via SofaScore. The Guardian even handed Guimaraes a 9 out of 10 match rating after his display at Wembley, hailing his success in imposing himself on his Liverpool adversaries, overwhelming them. His passing range is something to behold, a technical level most all high-performing midfielders across Europe can only dream of. As per FBref, he actually ranks among the top 5% of midfielders across Europe's top 5 leagues over the past year for goals plus assists, the top 7% for shot-creating actions, the top 8% for progressive passes, and the top 6% for successful take-ons per 90. Shot-creating actions are pieces of play that lead to a shot. These include moments such as a pass, take-on, or foul being drawn. If you're not convinced already, well-respected analyst Raj Chauhan said, Newcastle have every right to be putting a £100 million valuation on their general, whose dynamic and all-encompassing midfield qualities would not be found in a replacement. That said, if FSG do indeed have money to burn this year, there are few options in that exorbitant ballpark who would be worth the effort more than Guimaraes, who could reinforce the central fold and unlock a new level to Slot's team. He ran the show at Wembley, after all. Bruno Guimaraes too. When discussing Liverpool's interest in Isak, Romano also suggested midfield could be an area FSG do business in the summer. Let's see what happens, he said. Given Liverpool were reported to have been keen last summer, perhaps they could now revisit a deal. Slot's reluctance to change his starting options in the center this year does make a telling comment on his view towards some fringe options. Guimaraes would change all of that. In fact, the midfield machine might just become the cream of Liverpool's crop.